此谓夫生无量天尊. Hello everyone, welcome to another class. Today we are going to talk about some internal practices, and we are looking at a nice picture. Okay, so should okay. Okay, so again, hello everyone, Fu Seng Wu Liang. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Daoist cultivation, or the cultivation of immortality. So we are just looking at the nice picture or painting here of the Wang Chongyang, and with his disciples he's teaching some methods or transmissions. And so today we are also learning a few important parts of the Daoist cultivation. So if you want to take notes, now is the best time to grab your notebook or your pen. So the cultivation of immortality is a process through which ordinary individuals transform into an extraordinary being, according to the inherent view of form and spirit in Taoism. So cultivation of immortality involves equally attention of the physical body and the spirit. Therefore, the path to immortality pursued by the Taoists has always been centered around the concept of harmonious refinement of form and spirit, attaining the truth through alignment with the Tao. However, throughout the ages, Taoists have focused on various paths of cultivation, and the specific methods attempted to are countless. In essence, there are several main explorations in this regard. So a few traditions we know in modern days are internal alchemy or inner alchemy, the Neidan. Inner alchemy emphasizes the refinement and cultivation of one's own inner energy, the qi and the jing, the essence. Throughout meditation or breath control, visualizations, and other techniques, practitioners seek to refine and transform these energies, eventually achieving spiritual enlightenment and immortality. So recently I also uploaded an interview with my Shifu Renrong Chuan, and he mentioned that there is a few different levels or layers in Taoist practice. And the highest layer or highest level is immortality practice. So we are practicing internal alchemy, internal cultivation. And then another way, or the second level or layer of this cultivation, is worship. We do ceremonies and do rituals. So internal alchemy has always been, or internal cultivation has always been, a very important point. And when we are talking about the ceremonies, this is all part of the Waidan Gong. Neidan is the internal practice or cultivation, and on the other hand we have what we call the Waidan or external cultivation. External cultivation involves the use of herbs, minerals, and external substances to create what we refer as the elixir or the dangyao. It is believed to be the elixir of immortality, but over the generation this knowledge get lost. So in ancient time people would ingest these kind of pills or elixirs to refine and transform the physical body, leading to immortality. So nowadays there is still a few people practicing these type of Wai Dan Gong, Wai Dan, external elixir. So another big part is the breath cultivation or Qigong practice. Qigong is a very general term, but we use the breath and the imagination, so the Huxi and Yi, to cultivate the body. And it's not only that we are cultivating the physical body, but also the spiritual or also the energy. Qigong practice involves the regulation and cultivation of the breath and qi or vital energy to enhance the health and vitality of the practitioner, ultimately developing the spirit. Through various exercises, movements and meditative techniques, practitioners aim to balance and harmonize their energies. So our main goal is, through the practice of Qigong or breathing techniques, Tu Na Gong, to harmonize, balance our Qi Chang, our energy body, to get a healthy vessel for our spiritual cultivation. This also can lead to spiritual awakening and potentially to immortality. Many years ago I only say one sentence, and I like to use this sentence: the only way there is through breathing and imagination. So if we use the breath and our Yi, we are able to gain immortality. We just already talked about the ceremonies and rituals. The ritual and ceremonies are also a way of internal cultivation. Through the performance of incantations, invocations and offerings of worshipping, it is believed to establish a connection with the divine beings. So every time we are reciting the scriptures, every time we are reciting our incantations, every time we worship, do the ceremony and rituals, it is to connect to the deities, to the divine. So if I'm able to plug in, let's say the altar is like a energy source, and we plug into this energy source, it is the same kind of internal cultivation like the inner alchemy or Neidan Gong or the Qigong exercise. That's why it is believed that practitioners, they are seeking this way of Daoist cultivation. They receive blessing, protection and spiritual enlightenment, which may lead to immortality. It is important to note that these methods are only known to the Daoist practitioners. So there's many different types of spiritual cultivation, but in Taoism we are used to these typical types of cultivation. Many people may say, there is also the Daoist art, the Daoist music. All is part of the ritual and ceremony, in fact. And in a recent webinar, I was also talking about the 5 arts. The 5 arts of Taoism, the 5 arts we can practice, and one major pillar is also the ceremonies and rituals. Same type or same art, same kind of department as the internal practice. Yeah, because they are the same. They are kind of the same root. There's different other paths or ways of cultivation. We can all say they're all based on the same principles, on the same principle of the I Ching and the same principle of the Yin Yang, Bagua, Tai Chi, 5 elements and such. So there is also additional different other arts. What I just mentioned, we have the Shan, the mountain art, which includes the cultivation of martial art, Qigong, internal alchemy, internal practices, Neidangong, but also Weidangong, ceremonies, rituals and such. But then there is the medicine part. We also have one department or one of these 5 arts we call Yi, is the medicine. Because the medicine is a major way of creating harmony. And that's why we practice Taoism to create harmony. If we are into the Bazi reading or the divination, we want to use this method as a tool to create a harmony in our life. And if we are able to create a harmony, then we can live a happy and healthy life. Only if there is a disharmony, an imbalance of energies, we will get sick or have disease and live a not so healthy life. So there are several paths in the cultivation of immortality, and one is herbal medicine. This includes obtaining elixirs of immortality, the one we just mentioned. To reach the realm of immortals and using this type of medicine according to the formulas. These formulas, they root back to the time of the Warring State period, where Taoist practitioners mainly sought the elixir of immortality. So in that period of time, there were a lot of people exploring or doing research in this direction. A lot of medicine was created, and a lot of treatment against disease were created. By the time of the Western Han Dynasty, people began to use artificial methods. Like, what is this artificial method mean? We are using medicine or creating certain medicines, certain mixtures. The main ingredients were used were the minerals, stones, something like cinnabar. Some people already hear about cinnabar. And the resulting products were often called the golden elixir or the golden pill. By the end of the Western Han Dynasty or the beginning of the Eastern Han Dynasty, numerous alchemical texts were circulating, and the divine essence of the Tai Ching golden elixir, it's called the Tai Ching Neidan, were very common to use. This indicates that the theory and techniques of the alchemy had become quite advanced during that time. So people were using these techniques to gain into higher spheres or into the higher dimension or spiritual dimension. However, the alchemical practice required a lot, not only the practice, but also if somebody doesn't have the knowledge to do the medicine, they will fail and probably die. So now my personal experience, with this, I have a brother in the moment. He's living in Hebei, near Hebei, in a temple. He's also practicing the internal alchemy, but with talisman. So he made a lot, or he's making this all the time, a lot of mixtures of elixir mixtures with cinnabar. This cinnabar is very special and also can use for draw fu, and this is what he does. You draw fu on a paper and eat that, or put the ash in the water and drink that. This is quite a common practice. However, these materials are all toxic, so if somebody doesn't know how to use this, how to make this, they will end up sick or even worse. So in not very long, the people discovered the side effects. So they know, okay, it's very bad, it's very deadly, So starting from the Tang Dynasty, the alchemical procedures or practices were turned into internal alchemy practice, Neidan. Also with the start of Lü Dongbing's teachings. So the people in that time, they were not like nowadays. We can use a lot of knowledge or common knowledge. We just type it in the computer and we get all the informations we need. In that time, they were only like from mouth to ear. I transmit to one person, or they write it handwritten in a book, and that's why this type of practice was later on very secretly passed down from generation to generation. Another way of Daoist cultivation is the yin qi, or Dao Yin. Yin qi or Dao Yin is what we call this when we are. Many people would refer as the qigong. Qigong is a very general term. We have a qigong. It's a general term where we use different tools. For example, we use the breathing technique together with the imagination, and maybe together with movements or no movements. So there's a lot of different combinations, and if we use the imagination, we can also lead the qi. So this is where this comes from, actually leading the qi, Dao Yin or Yin qi. When we are stretching our body, through this movement, and also together with our breathing and imagination, like modern qigong exercise. We would call this guiding the qi or leading the qi. So Taoists practice this type of techniques, and everything was done basically physically. If you travel to another place, it's traveled by foot, or maybe by horse. Most of the people, they travel by foot. So they had to have very robust structure and robust body if they would start cultivating these kind of techniques, regulating breath, cultivating oneness, internal contemplation, meditation, external exercises, like if you want to have a strong spirit, you need to have a strong vessel. The Waidan or Waishu and Neishu needs to go together. If we are only practicing spiritual, then we might only end up with a very weak body condition. So over the time, these techniques, they spread around the whole country. People understood, okay, there is this kind of exercise they can do, and to get healthy, more healthy. And only a healthy vessel, a healthy body will be able to cultivate spiritually. And the internal alchemy is teaching us the same way. When we are going to learn or practice internally, we need to have a healthy body. If the body is not healthy, many people, they say, oh, I go fasting, I do fasting, or I don't eat meat, or they take away certain nutritions the body need. I saw so many people, they have a super weak condition. The body is so weak that they and they even wonder why, because they say, oh, their nutrition is so healthy, no meat, no whatnot, but the nutrition is not healthy. The nutrition is not balanced, what they need. Everybody is individual, so some people, they may be very good with all these type of nutritions, and some people may not. So if I am weak, I know something is not right, so I need to change my environment, or my eating habits, or my habits in general. And only a strong body is able to cultivate Dao, cultivate Qi. That's what we need to understand. So all the internal alchemy, all the internal cultivation is based on the Qi cultivation. So if my body is so weak, I cannot cultivate Qi. I cannot sit straight or stand straight for longer than a couple minutes, because I don't have muscle or I don't have what it needs to do. We don't need to go to the gym to exercise, but at least do some healthy physical activities. Go swimming, for example, or walking. Walking is already a great exercise to have a very good blood flow, very good condition. So in terms of internal alchemy, there is a lot of theories and terminologies. So people use what we often say is the mercury or lead, lead and iron, or gold and silver. All these type of terminology or words we use to describe is only the yin yang. The meaning of this is the yin yang. So whenever you read any books, they're talking about the lead or the mercury or gold and silver, they mean yin yang, or the moon and the sun. Of course, there's different type of internal alchemy, like I just said, many different theories, and there's different ways. For example, there is what people call the microcosmic orbit, where they send energy around the microcosmic orbit. This is like a combination of meridians where the qi is going to flow, and others use different other terminology. For example, the wedding of yin and yang, wedding of man and wife, husband and wife, and so many things. The terminology is always different with the series. So one specific method uses this type of specific terminology. And later there were a lot, maybe translators or researchers, they pick up a few of those books, but they don't really follow through. They only translate, so therefore a lot of things get mixed up in our Western terminology in terms of alchemy. So the internal alchemy and outer or outside external alchemy depends on the specific materials. If I do internal alchemy, I use the characteristic. You see, the Chinese language is based a little bit, or have a little different base or root than the Western language. The Western language is black and white, and Chinese terminology is often everything of both and everything in between. So you don't have a hard cut, but you have a soft transformation or transition, So in terms of, when I say internal alchemy uses the phrases, the ideas, just put them in a different dimension or different space, the space inside of us, the space of the imagination, while the external alchemy uses the same things but just like outside or in the outside world. So that's why a lot of these phrases from the external alchemy or external cultivation also are used for the internal cultivation. So, and the point we already talked about, the religious rituals or worshipping or magical ceremonies or rituals, they are also a way to enter the realm or open the realm of the immortals. Yeah, it has always been that way, that there is a religious or ritual or kind of ceremonial way, worship or honoring, offering rituals in this society, or what we call Taoism. People nowadays often seem to think that this came up only over the past few centuries or past few decades. However, if we go back in history, and even the first day, the calendar, the creation of the Chinese or Daoist calendar was done through a ritual, through a Daoist ritual, through a worship and offering ritual. And over the time, of course, different lineages, different traditions, they split up and created their different ways, but everything rooted back in the Tao, in the Taoism, or in the belief of the nature. So many people may say that the Ke Yi, or what we refer as ceremony, the Ke Yi ritual methods or the Ke Fan ritual practice are like a final way or ultimate way of doing the practice or cultivate Taoism. A lot of people think, because nowadays the methods of the immortals, like the internal cultivation, or different medicine, different methods and techniques to become an immortal, they are long time, cut off the transmission. So there is no one living anymore, or no one able to really teach us these methods anymore. Therefore, a lot of people may think that the rituals or ceremonies are the ultimate practice for now. But this is only a general idea or general understanding or misunderstanding. There certainly are still many people that cultivate the old ways. The same like with Kung Fu. Everything we know about practice in Taoism, anything you could think of, developed over the time. It developed and might be evolved, but everything's still rooted in the old traditions. So it would be dead if we just follow everything just by the note. This is nothing alive. We are practicing and cultivating Taoism, the old tradition, in modern days, in modern ways. We can apply everything in today. Not necessary to create anything new. Everything is just developing or evolving. So at the beginning I mentioned the recent interview I published with Renzong Quan Dashi. And just to mention it again, there is another way of cultivating Tao besides the internal alchemy, besides the rituals, besides the external cultivation, which is to doing good deeds. Doing good deeds, or collecting gungde, or merits, accomplishing great deeds and not forgetting the roots, is what we call as the third level or third layer of Taoist cultivation. If I can cultivate all three perfectly, I will gain whatever my goals are. But by accomplishing great deeds or good doings, and not forgetting where one is coming from, and this is one of the three major ways of cultivation. Now we are still where I come from, where I gonna go. We just arrived here in this world. We didn't bring anything with us. We don't take anything with us if we are leaving. So I'm in this mortal world, and I'm one of many, many beings. And to do good deeds is something very logical. To be a good person is something very logical. I know when we are saying, okay, yin yang is a duality, it's a dual system. When we are saying we live in a dual world, yeah, everything has both the good and the bad. Yes, of course, we want to achieve Dao. Dao doesn't have this differences. They don't make a difference between good and evil. For Dao, both is the same. We are still human, we are still living in this reality or realm, and we make a difference of good and evil. So because we are just supposed to do like this, yeah, we can choose to do good or bad things. But to accomplish great deeds, there is a saying, we need to accomplish 3,000 good deeds and 300 big things to accomplish. So you can say, I help somebody over the street is a good deed, or I give something to eat to the homeless person is a good deed. The best thing we can do to also prevent ourselves from meeting bad situations or calamities, or avoiding these type of disasters, bad things happen to us, we can free beings or give them another chance in life. So how to do this? You could imagine everything has a soul, yeah, and recently I make out a nearby fish farm. So where we live here is a few fish farms nearby, and we want to buy a few hundred fish to free them every couple weeks. So this is a deed. We give those few hundred fish, we give them back to the nature, so they can survive and have a family by themselves, and maybe they're gonna survive. So we give them another chance, a second chance in life. And this is some deeds everybody can do. Or you go to the market and buy some live animal and set them free, something like this. I give them another chance in life to be free, 逍遥. Because we don't know what people are gonna do with our money. If I donate money to a charity, maybe half of the money goes to the administration or to the organization. All these scandals you can hear all the time. If you want to do something good, do it right where you are, right at your doorsteps. Everybody in your reach, everybody in their reach could find at least a place where they need help. We don't need to do any charity. A lot of companies, they live on this. They make a charity because they can make a lot of money with this, and you never know where the money ends up. So if you take money in your hand and buy some food for somebody homeless, it's sometimes better than to give them money, because you don't know what they do with the money. So when I suggest some people, sometimes they when I do Bazi consulting or Bazi reading, some people, they have a very unfortunate future or unfortunate period of time, 在杀, meaning they're gonna face a lot of difficulties and calamities, some disasters come across. So to avoid this, it's always good to do good deeds. So what I say is, go and help people, go and talk to some people, homeless people. They are the same like you and me. They just had a difficulty in their life. They may need some help, and just to talk to them and eat together with them or buy them some food. It's much nicer, much use more the heart than to just give money, you know. To talk to the people, to, you know, recognize them as a being. This is the least we can do. So that's why I always say, you know, do some good deeds will help anyone creating a harmony. And this is why we practice this. We want to create harmony and balance of our world and life. Okay. So many of these methods fall under the category cultivation. Cultivation of a moral character, cultivation of the body or the spirit or the mind. You know, all are part of the great Tao. All are part of what we call the Da Dao. Da Dao Wu Xing, Sheng Yu Tian Di. The great Tao doesn't have a shape. It gives birth to heaven and earth. Qing Jing Jing is always good to recite there, to quote there. 好吧, everyone.